Hello everyone, today we are going to talk about for in Java programming. I am Vignesh Ramamurthy, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science. For, this is the syntax of for initialization, test condition and increment. So here we have the body of the loop. For loop is also an entry control loop like while. So the first parameter is initialization. Initialization is where the loop begins with, and initialization is an expression that initializes the loop. So it is executed once as the loop begins, and later on either it is decremented or incremented. And next comes the test condition. The test condition is the condition which is evaluated. If the condition is true, then the body of the loop is executed. If the condition is false, it skips the execution of the body of the loop. And the last one is increment or sometimes decrement. This will either increment the value or decrement the value. Here we have an example for loop. A is initialized to 5. A is a variable. For int I is 0. This is initialization. And next we have the test condition. I is greater than, sorry, it's lesser than. I is lesser than A. A is 5. And next we have the increment operator, increment expression I plus plus. Okay, system.out.println element A. We are going to just print the value A. We'll see a program now. Public class example. Public static void main string arguments for int x is equal to 50. Now x is initialized to 50. The test condition is x less than 55. X is incremented, x plus plus. So you gotta print the value of x. So for the first iteration, x begins with 50. So the value of x is 50 in the output. The second iteration, 50 becomes 51 because x is incremented, x plus plus. Third iteration, x becomes 52. Fourth iteration, x becomes 53. And in the fifth iteration, x becomes 54. And the next iteration, x becomes 55. Since the condition fails, the body of the loop is not executed. So the output we have till 54. And next comes nested for. So nesting of loop is having a loop inside another loop. This is called as nesting. So similarly in for, we have a for loop inside another for loop. So two for loops here, the outer loop and the inner loop. This is the example. So the outer loop, number 2 is 0, number 2 is less than equal to 9, number 2 is incremented. And the inner loop for num1 equal to 0, num1 is less than equal to 9, num1 plus plus, system.out.println. So there are two loops here, inner loop and outer loop. This is an example for nesting of loop. So nesting of for loops are used to create pattern programs. These star like design pattern programs, we call it as pattern programs. So there are two for loops here. For I equal to 1, I less than equal to 5, I plus plus. See, the iteration begins with 1. If the condition is satisfied, it goes for the second for loop. I begins with 1, and of course the value of 1 is less than equal to 5. The condition is satisfied. So the next loop, it starts with the next loop for j. Int j is equal to 1, j is less than equal to I. Now the value of I is 1 here, and then the j is incremented. And after executing the loop, we'll get this output as many stars. This is called as pattern programming. Next is infinite for loop. So the three expressions given in the syntax. Number 1, initialization. Number 2, test condition. Number 3, increment or decrement. These three expressions are optional. So this allows you to have a for loop like this. For semicolon and semicolon. There are no parameters inside. So these parameters are optional, and this leads to an infinite loop because there is no condition, no initialization, no increment or decrement. So this is infinite for loop. Next comes negative increment. For allows you to have negative increments also. So x begins with 9, x is greater than or equal to 0, and x is equal to x minus 1. So for allows to have negative increments too. Next we have failing of condition. Sometimes conditions fails at the beginning. Let's look into the example first. So x begins with 9 and the test condition is x less than or 9 and decrement the value of x. So since the initialization and the test condition is same, here the condition fails in the beginning itself. So the condition is not satisfied. As we know, for loop, once it evaluates the condition, if the condition is satisfied and it is true, the body of the loop is executed. Here the condition is not satisfied, it fails, so the body of the loop is not executed. So this example is an explanation for conditions failing at the beginning itself. Next, another feature in for is having a for each loop, which is also called as advanced or enhanced for loop in Java programming. In Java 5 it was introduced for each. This for each is mainly used for arrays or collection elements. So the main advantage here is it eliminates the possibility of bugs and makes the code even better readable. So the syntax for each or advanced or enhanced for loop: for type identifier colon expression. So we were using semicolon, 2 semicolons so far. Now we are going to use a colon in between type identifier and expression. The condition is satisfied, the body of the loop is executed. Type is the data type, or it could be an object too. Identifier is name of a variable, and expression is the instance of array. We'll see an example. So class for each example. Int ARR is an array value. We initialize the value to 12, 23, 39 and 47. So this is for each. We have for int I. Int is data type, that is type. I is an identifier, and ARR is the array expression. So system.out.println, just print the I, all the values which we have in the array: 12, 23, 39 and 47. So for int I colon ARR is an example for each or enhanced for loop. So today we have seen about for and with an example and the syntax, and we saw what is nested for, of course, with an example where we had the pattern programming, creation of patterns. With that, we saw about infinite for loop, where the 3 expressions are optional. This leads to an infinite for loop, and then having negative increments and failing the condition at the beginning itself. And we ended up with for each loop, which is also called as advanced or enhanced for loop. Hope this video was useful. Thank you.